Worst passenger I've ever carried. There was a passenger I carried that almost gave me serious trouble. So I'm going to share it so that you as a driver can also learn, because experience, they say, is the best teacher. It's better to learn from other people's experience than you waiting to have the experience before you learn. So on that fateful, I think it was on a Wednesday, I loaded my vehicle as usual and I left. 15 minutes into the journey, I was going from Warri to Asaba. 15 minutes into the journey, still in Warri, I looked at my dashboard and I observed that my temperature was unusually high, higher than how it usually is. So I knew something was wrong. 15 minutes into the journey, my temperature was already almost at 50%, and I panicked immediately. So immediately I discovered that I had to park the vehicle well by the roadside. I just said, my temperature is high, you make I see what thing to do the vehicle. I removed my seatbelt and I came down, popped my bonnet and I opened it. You know, it was a woman. She was already ranting that why would the vehicle stop us here? Just 15 minutes into the journey, the vehicle is already stopping. I'm like, madam, this is a vehicle. You cannot predict it. No matter how much maintenance you give to the vehicle, sometimes you cannot predict the vehicle. At least let me know what is wrong with the vehicle, because even a human being created by God sleeps and don't wake up. God Almighty is the one that created the human being. Sometimes he sleeps and he doesn't wake up. Talk more of a vehicle that was made by a human being like you and me. Let me see what is wrong with the vehicle so that I will know if it is something I can fix now. If it is not something I can fix, I will call the park. They will send another vehicle that will take you to your destination. She was still ranting, so I just ignored her. I popped my bonnet, I opened the bonnet, and I discovered that my radiator, my radiator cap was not in place. So what happened is that in the morning, while I was doing my routine check, checking my oil, Jabos oil and engine oil, trying to check the water if it's gauged. After checking the water, in a hurry to leave home to the park so that I don't be late, I don't get there late, I forgot to lock my radiator cap. That was the issue. So apparently the temperature went up and it has blown it blew my radiator. I didn't know at first. So as I looked at it, I said, okay, this is a small problem, because I didn't know at first that my radiator was blown. When I looked at it and saw that my radiator cap was not in place, I said, okay, this one is a small problem. Since the radiator cap was not in place, it made water to evaporate faster. The the engine was pumping water out from the radiator. So because of the lack of water in the engine, that is why the temperature is going up. That was what I concluded. So I said, let me get water and put in the vehicle so that we can continue our journey. This will not be big problem. The woman was ranting. I should give her her money back. That I'm a very stupid person. I am a fool. I'm big for nothing. And I didn't say a word. I just picked my fuel keg from the boot and I walked down. As I was walking, I was asking people. It was very early in the morning. People were just waking up from bed. I was asking people about where I fit see water. They were directing me. Luckily, there was a church in front there that has a tap outside for people to fetch water. So I used my keg to fetch water. Already, passengers were quarreling. Some of them understood. Some of them was, trying to make sure that I get the water so that we can continue on our journey. So unfortunately, before I came back from where I went to bring the water, the woman has gone. She has picked her things and she had left. So when I came back, I didn't even notice. One of the passengers brought my phone and gave me, because I left the phone here out of panic. What is wrong with the vehicle? How do I fix it? I left my phone here while I was charging it. One of the male passengers brought my phone and said, Oga, see your phone. That woman that was quarreling you almost left with the phone. I said, why would she leave with my phone? He said the woman say, as you know, give her money back, make she collect your phone so that you go find her. And I was shocked. The guy even had to tell her that no, that this is not driver's phone, that this is his phone that he plugged to charge. Otherwise, she would have taken my phone and left with the phone. And I said, thank you, bros. How would I have been able to find this woman if she had gone with my phone? So I picked my phone, I put the water in the radiator, and that was when I noticed that the radiator was leaking. As I was putting the water was dripping from beneath the radiator. So I said, okay, this problem is not a small problem anymore. Let me call the park. so that they can send a vehicle that will take you to Asaba. So I called the park. Luckily for me, there were vehicles I have not loaded that I was still waiting for their turn. So I called one of them that I was familiar with. He came. When a vehicle comes to for transloading, you will give him the exact money they dispatched you with in the park. Then they were dispatching us with 40,000 naira, and I had already bought fuel of 20,000 naira. I was left with 20,000 naira, so I gave him the 20,000 naira cash, and I transferred the remaining 20,000 naira to him to his account. So they continued the journey, and we forgot about everything. So I went to the spare parts where they sell spare parts, the mechanic village in Warri here. I went to fix the radiator that got leaked. It was not a big deal. It was just that radiator that got leaked that was why I wasn't able to continue the journey. So they fixed the radiator, they patched it, and everything was okay again, back to normal. So I got back to the park. They said, okay, since I was not able to go and I translated my vehicle to another person, they will still load me again to go back to Asaba. I said, no, Alan. So I was there at the park, but sun was coming out. It was already past 11, almost 12. Everywhere was hot. So I just decided that, I beg, I'm not going again. Let me just go home and relax. Since today is already a bad day, let me go home and relax. Tomorrow, I will come back afresh to work. Now, the funny part is that in the evening, I started receiving calls from the park, from the Oga at the park, the National Union workers at the park. The Oga was calling me that, hey, why I go embarrass, why I go insult passenger, that they are looking for me, that I should try and refund her money. I said, Oga, how will I refund her money? The person that came for dispatch, for transloading, I gave him the exact money you dispatched me with. I gave him 40,000 naira you dispatched me with, which covers for all the passengers in the vehicle. This woman did not wait for me to bring water. She didn't wait for me to make another vehicle available to take them to Asaba. She just left, that she's in a hurry. So where am I going to bring the money from when I've already paid the full money? They didn't want to listen. You know that most times those people don't really care about the drivers. They didn't want to listen. They were saying I should give her back their money. I said, okay, is it not 5,600? Because from Warri to Asaba then was 5,600. That was when fuel was 800 naira. I say, okay, madam, send your account. Let me send you back the 5,600 naira. The shocking thing is that the woman said that lie, that her money is no longer 5,600, that I will pay the 5,600 and then I will pay the 1,500 that took her to get it to enter Asaba Motor. And then I'll pay for the keke she entered. She mentioned so many things and it amounted to 8,900 naira that she was claiming I was going to pay her. I looked at it and I said, lie, I'm not paying you this money. Whatever you want to do, madam, start doing it now. So she was influencing. She went to call the Oga of the National Union in Warri. I don't know if his name is Are or whatever. That one did not even ask what happened. He just called the boss on duty and started threatening them that they should make sure I refund that money. I refund her the 8,900 naira. So they were already acting on the order. And I was so confused. I was so angry. I was so mad. How can I pay you damages? Because that's apparently collecting damages from me. How will I pay you damages? I am supposed to refund your fare, if at all. But everybody was against me. So I said I was not going to return the money anymore. So I just relaxed. Before I knew it, she ran to the police station. The policeman was calling me, telling me that they brought my report to the station, that I should pay back the 8,900 naira immediately if I want to have peace. And I laughed. Oga, this is not a criminal matter. So you cannot force me to pay back the money. This is a civil matter. So you people should calm down. So she was just running away. I was receiving calls from here and there, police calling, National Union members calling, saying if I don't give her back the money, they will no longer load my vehicle and all of that. So at the end of the day, I just sat down and I thought about the situation. What is 8,900 naira compared to my peace of mind and my continuity, my going concern in my business? So I looked at it and I said, okay, you know what, I would send you back your money. So at the end of the day, I sent back 8,900 naira to this wicked woman. Yes, she's a wicked woman because I paid twice. I paid her fare twice and I still paid damages on top. 8,900 naira plus 5,600 naira. This 14,500 naira I paid back to her in total. The first 5,600 she paid, and the 8,900 naira I later refunded her. So I paid her fare and I paid damages for no reason. I said, no wahala, let peace reign. But I told her that that money I paid her, she will not have peace because that was my sweat. You were trying to intimidate me because you see that I'm a driver. I just left everything in the hand of God. So that is the worst passenger I've ever carried. I want to hear stories of how passengers have tried to intimidate you as a driver. Whether you live in Nigeria, you live in Ghana, Cameroon, share your story. Let's know. Let's see. Let's learn.